hello there. And we are live. See ya, ladies and gentlemen. You are welcome to another episode of Real Talk. See ya, people. Premier League show. People, I know this is a very, very impromptu one, but people, I just had to bring this brother. I mean, see, this guy, I started following this guy on Twitter first just because I really, really liked the content he was actually dishing out on Twitter. Very unapologetic. That's one thing I do know. Whenever he gives his take on something, he gives it. It's his opinion. And usually his opinion is usually, very, very balanced and everything like that. So I follow him on Instagram also. And people, of course, you must have seen me when I used to kind of like used to share most of his stuff on my Instagram page. The Assemble, big ups to you, man. Says good evening, everyone. Big ups to you, my brother. How you doing, bro? So today I decided to go and bring this brother. But just before that, I had a show on Igal's channel. That was my second time on Igal's channel. And then me and this brother would just click, and I really liked the way he was just, really giving his thoughts. And it was mostly very, very balanced because I'm a very balanced person. When it comes to critiquing the team, I like to critique the team. When it comes to giving the team the props when they've done well, you give it to them. That's how I see it. No agendas, just analyze what you see. What you see is what you get. And that's why I brought this brother to the show. See ya, people, content creator extraordinaire. People, Le African Gunner is in the house, people. See, Le African Gunner, you're welcome to the show. How are you doing, brother?
I'm doing really well. Thank you for the kind intro. And no, it's a pleasure to be here, man. I think it's always great to speak with other Arsenal fans around the world. We all love the club very much, and we love to connect and share and our experiences, share our thoughts on the team. I think, as you know, I've been watching Arsenal for 20 plus years now. I've never missed a game. And I think that as a fan, I want the best for the club, right? And it's hard sometimes to critique the club, but also I'm very fair. I've played the game myself at a certain level. I wanted to become pro, so I can also see the game in different ways. And like you said, it's always good to be balanced. I don't buy into this negative, always talking about the bad things that we've done, or the good things that we've done. It's always about talking about how I see it and being really fair in the assessment, whether it's good or bad. A lot of people, I think, are very focused on a lot of the negative things. And I try, leading a fan account, leading, an Arsenal account where you post content every single day about Arsenal. You try to be positive, because if you always have a negative mindset, it's really unhealthy to be doing a role where you're talking about the club all the time. And that's not really the people that I want to attract, right? And I want the best for the club, so I try to be positive when I can be. But again, when I have to be harsh and I have to tell some truths, I do.
Yeah. But and you know what? Yeah, me too. I followed that route. Yeah, but again, Arsenal haven't won trophies in a long time. And you could really feel the pain of some fans. Yeah, when they come out and actually throw their disgust at what's really going on. Now, I'll just give you a shade of what's going on down our left wing. I mean, Gabriel Martinelli, Trossard haven't really been firing on all cylinders. Martinelli, the last time he scored something was 3 seasons ago, something of substance, when he got about 15 goals in a season. Now, when someone is actually trying to say, hey, Martinelli ain't the guy for us down the left hand side, do you classify that as negative?
I think there's different ways of approaching it. So firstly, this is a very interesting topic, and I think it's an important topic to talk about, and it's great that we're starting with this one. I'll start by saying that, Trossard has been a good signing for Arsenal, considering, the amount that we paid for him. He has been good on terms of the output, and I think, it probably is time for us to move on from him, right? I think, to give space. And I think in terms of Martinelli, what I think is negative is the way people talk about Martinelli. Martinelli is a £6 million player. Martinelli is a player that was with us from the start when we had nothing. It was just Saka and Martinelli and Smith Rowe. And people forget the past. We forget all some of the scars and some of the things that players have done. Martinelli has done really well to get to where he is. He's a £6 million player that is now a 50 million plus pound player. Is he performing at the level that we need? No. But does that mean that we kick him out and we bash the player and we forget all the good things that he's done for us? Let's not forget that Klopp talked about Martinelli as one of the best players that he's ever seen. And he had also admitted that he thinks Martinelli's ceiling is very, very high, right? And I respect Klopp as a manager. Look at what he's done for Liverpool. So if a manager like that is talking about a player, it clearly means something, right? So look, I understand the frustrations with Martinelli. I also think that Arteta doesn't play him to the best of his strengths. So we're not seeing the best of the Martinelli that
what is the best of Martinelli's strength? Because I've seen him up top before. Yeah. I mean, he scored a goal against Chelsea, but he didn't replicate anything from there. So they talked him down the left-hand side. He hasn't really done anything. The only thing I could say he has done is that when he actually, when we're actually overburdened with, with counter-attacks or whatnot, or maybe our defense is stretched, he always runs down the left-hand side to help out defensive. Apart from that, I've never really seen any big-time output from him in terms of numbers and in terms of assists. When you're my left winger in my football club, I need assists. Absolutely. I deserve assists. Absolutely. And any kind of goals you could score to add to your GA, good. But in this case now, he's no more getting the GAs.
Yeah.
Our left-hand side looks bereft of any ideas.
Yeah,
he's not getting the goals. So I mean, you could feel the pain when these people talk about it anyway.
I feel the pain. The funny thing is I feel the pain just as much as everyone else, right? But I just tried to remember when we started this conversation, we talked about balance, right? And the balance for me is that I know as the club, they won't spend 100 million on, we had too much things to fix. That's the problem. So now when you're expecting another 60, 70 million player on the left, when we just signed Gyokeres, we signed, you know what I mean? So that is the balance that I try to bring, is that yes, we do need to upgrade without a doubt. And two, Xhaka, when Xhaka's best season was Martinelli's best season. Why? Because Martinelli had someone to combine with on the left, and he doesn't have that. So a couple of things. Yes, he needs to improve. His head is down all the time. It's a frustration. He just wants to run to the byline and cross. He doesn't come in, sign, and shoot. And I think that's all tactical. I also think that that's on the manager. The manager needs to improve the player. It cannot only be the player that is blamed, saying you're shit, you're shit, you're shit. The coach and in training, they also need to be working on these things. It's very clear, not only from Martinelli, but if we look back at even Aubameyang playing on the left, he hated it. He didn't want to be there.
Oh, so you do agree that Mikel Arteta should also, shoulder some of the blames of what has happened to our left wing.
Absolutely. I think not only Martinelli, if we look at our front three or our attack in general over the past 3 seasons, they have been lack of creativity, lack of anything. It's very robotic, apart from Saka, right? And that's why fans were very excited about Nwaneri. Why? Because he's young and he's not been brainwashed as much. He's the kid, and kids and like Dowman, they just want to go. They want to dribble. They want to express themselves. When you're trained and you're, in training for so long and you've been given instructions and you fear that if you do not follow those instructions, the manager will bench you or will take you out of the team, what are you going to do? It's only natural that you will keep doing what the manager says, even if that is not your strength. And my opinion is that Martinelli needs to be around the box. And this is why I'm very excited for Gyokeres, because as you can see already in the past weekend when we won 3-0 on Wednesday against, Atletico Madrid. There was a difference because Gyokeres was going to the left and Martinelli was coming more central. Who assisted the goal for Saka? It was Martinelli. It was Martinelli. And I agree with you. Last season, his GA was bad, but the season that we did really, really well, the season where Xhaka's last season, that was 22-23, his goals and assists were really good. In the last 2 seasons, he's also had some injuries. Again, there's many different factors, and many people will say, oh, I'm just making excuses. I'm not. I'm saying we should upgrade, but I'm also saying we should be fair. The way that this guy has been hounded out, the way that the fans drag his name is unfair for me, in my opinion. He has been one of the better players in our club for the last 5 years. There have been many worse players that have not been getting the same treatment as him, in my opinion. So
Mm.
I want to be balanced. Again, I'm saying he does need to improve. I do think he should be benched. I do think if you bring competition, it's gonna wake him up. He'll be another player. He'll, learn different things. It changes the dynamic. Look at Havertz. Look at the goal that Havertz scored. That is not usually a goal that Havertz scores. And I'm very excited to see the new Havertz is gonna come out from Gyokeres being a new signing, because now he knows he's under pressure. He needs to perform big time if he wants to get any
Yeah.
minutes. And that is something that Martinelli also needs. Yes, Trossard is there, but Trossard is older. He's a completely different player. So that's my take on Martinelli. He's not going to be sold, because he's not looking for money, right? And we need 50 million plus to be coming into the club to be considering selling him. A lot of people don't know this, but Leipzig were interested in Martinelli, and they came and asked about him, but we really are not looking to sell him until
If
next
60,
season.
65 million comes for Gabriel Martinelli, would you say thank you for your service?
Yeah,
I'll see you later.
I would. I don't want to, but I would say yes. Considering the fact that we can't get money for Trossard and we need to sell one of the two, I think, if we get a 65 million bid and Martinelli is happy to move to that club, then yes, we would have to make do. But from what I understand, nothing is going to happen this summer. It's pretty much a done deal. He's going to stay at the club. And depending on his performances this season, we will consider to sell him next season, because right now his market value, we cannot get that in terms of the money from a bid from any other club. So we're not going to sell him for a price that we are not willing to sell at. And we think that he's obviously, valued at a higher price. So we will see if we can rejuvenate his career in this season. He can have a decent output, and then maybe we can get some decent money for him next season. Or we continue to keep him when we give him a new contract if he has a really great season, right? And I've always maintained this. People always said, "Oh, Martinelli is going to be sold." No, man. Arteta rates him. He brings something to us that no one else in our team has, right? He can stretch teams. So, yeah, that's my take on Martinelli.
I mean, but again, that's the problem. Yeah, Arteta rates him, but I mean, when you're not doing the kind of guy I am, yeah, if you're not doing the numbers, yeah, if you're not doing the GAs for me, what is really your use to the team? Because there has to be something you're doing for the team physically that we can physically view for us to say, okay, good, you deserve a new contract. Because you just slipped in that new contract in there, and then the question comes to your head: does he really deserve a new contract? 2 seasons now, and he hasn't really performed.
Can I come back to that, and let me tell you, did Nelson deserve a new contract? Did Nketiah deserve a new contract? Those two players are not even close to the output that Martinelli gives. Martinelli,
but they're out of the football club. There's a difference. They're out of the football club. They are no more here.
Yeah, but the point is, at the time, we gave them a contract extension when they didn't deserve it. I'm not here to agree or disagree with what the club decides, but I'm just pointing out examples to you, right? That we have done this before for players that didn't deserve it. Rob Holden, Callum Chambers, El Neni. I can spit more names. So
and a lot of names, man.
I'm just saying, right? Again, we have to be balanced. I agree. Right now, I wouldn't say he deserves a new contract, but let's also remember that if you give him a new contract, that means he's worth more, right? I mean, the value, because then he has more time on his contract. And many people don't know this, but Martinelli has a 12-month option on his contract. So yes, we might extend his contract and just activate a 12-month extension, which means he has another year, which gives us a year to figure out, okay, are we going to sell this guy? Are we going to... So lots of things are at play. I think for now, people just need to be calm. Yes, we need an upgrade on Martinelli. If we don't get one, we don't get one. He has to perform. He has to do well. But let's also remember that it's also the coaches and the coaching staff's responsibility to get the best out of him. Right now, you can't be telling me that Martinelli keeps his head down all the time and no one in training has fixed this issue. Somebody in training needs to be fixing this issue. There needs to be a drill where, okay, if he does it, he gets a punishment. He needs to run. Something, I don't know. I'm not a professional coach, but these guys, this is what they get paid to do, right? So
exactly,
they need to figure it out. I think personally that Martinelli is going to have a better season than he did last season. I think a lot of
people... Let's see. I hope so. I literally hope so. See, they assembled my head. Moderator is down here, and there was something you said about Martinelli probably maybe not used or utilized in his rightful position or something like that. So probably maybe that's why they assembled has sparked this question, and it's asking you directly. Apart from Saliba Gabriel, and Raya, what other players are playing in a position that they haven't been converted to?
I'm not really understanding the question per se. I think a lot of the signings that Arteta is signing are players that can play in multiple positions. Someone like Timber, someone like Ben White. Ben White was a center back. We've converted him to a right back. Someone like Timber is also a center back, but could also play in other positions, and we were playing them in other positions. And Tomiyasu as well came in as a center back that played left back, right back, center back, wherever, right? So
Mm,
I think this is something that Arteta it's a pro and a con, right? Because you need players that are able to, part of our game is players rotate while we have possession, right?
yeah,
And while we're in possession, you see that if there's any empty spaces, it means someone else needs to take that space. If MLS is going up, then Gabriel needs to slot in and cover that spot. That's why you saw Xhaka, 2 years ago, he was playing left back, right? So this is
mm,
something that Arteta loves to do is, we're trying to always play with an extra man somewhere and filling in those spots, which means that those players need to understand all these different positions so they can be able to execute really well, right? So
yeah,
I think for me, it's a both a pro and a con because, when we talk about the left winger, we're saying no to Eze because he's a cam. But if he plays
mm.
left wing, he's not really going to be playing left wing. He will be switching, right? With
He'll
with
be switching, yeah, from the
so
midfield, definitely.
but people don't
Yeah,
understand this. They just say, "Oh, he's not a left winger. How can he play left wing?" Yes, but even on the team sheet, if it says he's playing left winger, it doesn't mean he's always going to be on the left wing and he's a traditional left winger. No, Arteta will use him. They will rotate positions, and he'll come more centrally, and he'll be in the dangerous positions. Hopefully, something like him
yeah.
and Odegaard with a Rice or Zubimendi behind would be ideal in terms of an attacking scenario. So I don't know if I answered the question as that was asked because I was a bit confused with what
No,
it
no, no.
was.
You touched on it. You touched on it. My brother, I know you're Canadian. Yeah, I mean, uh, have you ever by chance met Miss Melina in any way?
Yeah, so Miss Melina and I are actually really good friends. We chat quite
Oh,
often.
okay.
Yeah,
Oh,
and
she's my very good friend.
I met her
She
in
really
person.
helped my channel grow
Awesome.
in a way.
She's a great
Yeah,
she's a great person and she has a good soul. And
amazing. So,
I would say that we met when I went to my first Emirates game because I thought Arsenal was going to win the league in the 2020
oh,
season.
that's
I
great.
went to the final game of the season because if we won, we would have lifted the trophy in that game, and I saw her
Ah,
at that game.
yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah, and
Big ups to Miss Melina. She's in
hopefully
the
I'll
channel.
see her on Sunday if she decides to come watch the game at the Arsenal pub here in Toronto. She and I
Okay.
will be able to see each other, but I'm not sure if
To
she'll.
link up again. Yeah. Big up to Miss Melina. She's here. She says, Sunshine Raid. Big up to Sunshine. Thanks for the raid, Sunshine. Soon I'll be on your channel. But after we beat you this Sunday, Laguna will be talking about that in a bit. But see, yeah, my brother, one thing on the chopping block right now, Victor Gyokeres. I mean, see, yeah, my brother, Arsenal, 3 seasons in a row, we've come second. And everyone I've always been saying, you know what? Yeah, we're just close. We're just close. We're just close. And when you ask people, what is that thing that you go into the market, yeah, and go and acquire that would make that gap just really. The first thing they tell you is a striker. The first thing they'll tell you, oh, all the seasons that we've missed, the title. If only we had a number 9 who would just sit down in that box and convert 20 to 25 goals. I mean,
Yeah,
you keep hearing these things, yeah. Now we have one of the most lethal, dangerous strikers in the whole of Europe right now, situated in our football club. Take it away, Le African Gunner, Victor Gyokeres. And again, key into this. After his first 2 preseason matches, I mean, you started hearing some murmurings from, I mean, some people. I'm totally against that. Yeah.
yeah.
But I mean, he showed up in that game against Athletic Bilbao, showed how he could be, showed that he's boss, showed that he thrives in darkness, shows that he could literally get you goals, shows that you could also get around, create a
Yeah.
little bit, run through the channels, very, very direct. And for some reason, people criticize him for his aerial abilities because maybe it's a little bit limited down there in Scotland, Lisbon. But
Couple of
I mean, I'm sorry, but again, how well could you shame your enemies when your first goal for your football club
Absolutely, you
is
shut the
actually
haters
an
up, right?
aerial goal?
You shut the haters up real quick. And okay,
Mm,
let's start with this. I think firstly, Arsenal Football Club have always been one player away, two player away. That's the story of our lives, man. I mean, and it
mm,
hurts. It hurts me to say that because, of course, I want us to win, and I always think that we don't do enough. And even now, we will get to this maybe a bit later, but even now, I don't think we've done enough, and we still feel like one player away, one player away. But I'll
mm,
say this: when I was growing up, right, you always had Sanchez or the Fabregas. We only had one or two superstar players. In the last 2-3 years, Arsenal have many superstar players, and this is what, as Arsenal fans, we dream to getting to, right? But yes, I agree, we still are one player away. So in terms of Victor Gyokeres, I'll start off by saying I didn't believe that Arsenal were going to sign him at the start because Arsenal never signed the proven guy. We never signed the proven guy. The only time we did that was Declan Rice, and look at what we got, right? You pay 105 million and you get what you pay for. Arsenal have never
mm.
been that club that pays big money apart from someone like Pepe, but he was raw as well when we signed him. We didn't ever sign a player that was ready-made, that we spent a lot of money on and was going to come and bang. And for me, Victor Gyokeres and Sesko, I was always open to both players. I said, I didn't mind who we were going to go for. I just wanted the striker. But in my heart, of course, I wanted Gyokeres because I knew he was the proven guy who scored a lot of goals. And when we signed him, I was very, very excited. I think it was very heavily influenced by Berta because he was already discussing to get him at Atletico Madrid before he left, and definitely used that power to manage to get him that Arsenal. And what I'll say is that, yes, you're absolutely right, bro. I mean, the last time we had a clinical striker like this was Aubameyang, man. And we know what Aubameyang did for this club. Irrespective of how it ended, Aubameyang is still one of the superstars and one of the most loved Arsenal players in the club because of what he's done for us. And that no one can dispute. And I'm really certain that Gyokeres is going to be that guy for us. I think what I would like to say on Gyokeres is, firstly, he's not going to start the first few games of the season. Just be ready for that. It's normal. I know people are going to be
No. Why?
yeah,
No, 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 no. Why?
I'm
Why?
explaining to you.
No, no,
I
no, no. No,
know, I
I don't
know.
agree to this.
I don't agree with it
Give
either,
us
but
perspective. Why? He's
because
injury free.
he's
He's
injury
ready.
he's injury free, he's ready, but the tactics, the level of the Premier League, it's gonna take 2-3 games. I agree. I think he should start, but I think the way Arteta is, he's gonna be conservative. He's gonna play Kai Havertz, who is already
Oh,
understands the league
oh,
and stuff, and he's gonna pick Gyokeres in the 60th minute or the 50th minute. I don't think we're gonna see a 4-4-2 because we would have already seen it in preseason if we really were gonna do it. Maybe we'll see it later in the season. Again, this is all my opinion. But also, Charles Watts mentioned that Kai Havertz would start, and I knew this even before Charles Watts said it. It was already being discussed, by Gunner Blog a month ago that Kai Havertz will start the season irrespective of who we sign. This was before we even signed Gyokeres or Sesko. The whole debate, it was already said that Kai Havertz is going to start the season, and it makes sense, in terms of the tactics, instead of understanding the league, instead of acclimatizing. I hate to say it,
he has played in the
it
league
always feels like
before in the
Arsenal is the
African
club that
Cup.
has to do this, right? Why do we
He
need?
has played in the league. He has played in this league. This is not a new
He has
league
not
to
played in
Victor
this league. I mean, he
Gyokeres.
played for, but that was.
He
I don't know if Brighton were in the Premier League when he played. I don't think he's ever played in the Premier League. He was
played
in the.
for Brighton. He's
He was
played
in the
for
championship.
Coventry.
In the
I mean,
championship.
he's played in England. He knows how English football runs.
I
He
don't
played in the
disagree with you.
championship.
I'm
You
just
know,
caution to the wind. Like, people are, if it happens, people are going to be very disappointed. And I'm telling you now, be prepared to see Kai Havertz in the starting 11. It may not happen. He may start him. They both scored a goal.
would
But
you be disappointed?
I would.
I mean,
I would.
I want to put you on the line. Would you? I mean, sometimes, yeah. I
Yeah,
mean,
it's hard.
you have to take responsibilities for your own
Absolutely.
opinions. Yeah. I mean,
Absolutely.
the- what do you say? I understand when you say we should get prepared to,
Yeah.
if just in case we see that, but that's on the manager. I want you to put yourself on the line right now. What do you say? Do you want to see Gyokeres start the game? Is
Absolutely.
that what you want?
Absolutely. Why wouldn't I want to see him start the game? I wanted an upgrade on Kai Havertz, and I think we got one. So if you get one, why wouldn't you start him, right? And he scored in that game. It just shows you that. Sorry, that was another point that I wanted to make before I went on my tangent. That he sniffs goals. We were talking about he doesn't score area goals. He's a killer. When killers come into the club, they sniff goals and they make stuff happen, right? It doesn't matter your left foot, right foot, your shoulder, your ass.
I agree.
It doesn't matter. You make it happen and you score the goals, right? So in my opinion, I think that's really, the premise for me is that you sign the guy, you got to play him. the other perspective is that, Man United and their manager know how he plays. They might be able to mark him out of the game better. But I mean, I don't really take that as something that, is super important. I think if you're good enough, right, it doesn't matter what your tactics are. It doesn't matter how the other team prepares. If you can destroy the team and you're ready and you're good enough, you're just gonna blow the other team out the water. It's like Messi. You know what Messi's gonna do, but he still does it because he's that good, right? And in my opinion, I think Gyokeres has a point to prove. I think they will start Sesko. So it would be great for us to start our bagsman, but at the same time, I'm ready for Arteta to start Havertz and bring him on in the 65th minute. I don't want that to happen, but I think as an Arsenal fan, and especially now after after the things that I do and reporting on the club every day and talking about the club every day, I protect myself a lot. I protect my heart a lot because it's been broken so many times that I purposely reduce my expectations now just to protect myself, even if. The truth is, I want him to start. I am telling myself and I'm telling my brain, no, Havertz is going to start. No, Havertz is going to start, because if it happens, then I don't feel crushed, right? I'm kind of playing a game with my own heart to say, hey, you know what? You want Gyokeres to start, but probably won't happen. Reduce your expectation. It's sensible, right? 3-4 games it'll take before he starts. It has to be a meritocracy system, my opinion, bro. Like, it has to be for any position. I'm sorry, Arteta does have his favorites, but at the end of the day, it needs to be who's performing the best, who's in the best form, who's better in training. That is the guy who needs to play. And sometimes, okay, who is the team that we're playing against? What are the tactics that is best suited against the opposition that we're playing? Then play that player. And my perspective, bro, Arteta has nowhere to hide anymore, man. This is why I didn't talk so much about the transfer window.
Exactly.
He made his decisions. He's making his bed. He needs to lie on it. If he's going to die on the sword, he's going to die on the sword. There's no more excuses. Last season, he had the excuse of all the injuries, which, I think were a lot of mistakes made last season. But look, it's the past. We forget it. Now, this is it. You signed these players. You asked for Madueke. All of this is you. I'm sorry. There's no, people are already talking about how Berta's the fail. Like, ridiculous, man. Ridiculous stuff on Berta that I'm seeing on the timeline. This is all Arteta now. Whatever he decides to go with, he has to live by these decisions. And if at the end of the season, or in a couple of months, if it looks like this is all going to go to shit, what's going to happen. The family is going to turn.
Definitely, because the board has actually brought out the checkbook, gone on and signed the most little striker in Europe, in my own opinion. He has decided to go for Mosquera. I really think that Mosquera is actually a very, very, very amazing.
He's a bit too aggressive.
Right-sided centre back.
He's a bit too aggressive, but he's young. He'll learn.
No. But wait. Hold up. That's what I want. I want him to be aggressive.
Remember, if you're too aggressive and you keep giving away fouls when we are in good positions where you don't have to give away the foul, it's a good and a bad thing, right? I like it. Yeah. It's better than Holding, who couldn't do anything, and then
who couldn't do anything. Yeah, exactly.
But
I like that raw tapestry of that. I mean, it's just raw. It's very raw, but that he has the capability. The talent is there, and that's why I like that signing. But again, when you look at the news today, I mean, you're a content creator. I can't tell you how many times you've posted about Gyokeres Eze coming to the football club. My brother, in the early hours of yesterday, we woke up to the news that Spurs have gazumped and hijacked talks with Crystal Palace. And we're also still hearing that Eze is also willing to actually go to Spurs. What are your thoughts on this? And again, who would you blame if we don't get Eze? Because I'm hearing that Mikel Arteta has some reservation about Eze.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't know what's true. I don't know. But again, you're into print and digital media. So you let me know what's really happening down there with this Eze thing. Mostly with Spurs trying to hijack that.
The way it started, I think it was about a month and a half ago when reports came out that both Arsenal and Spurs were interested, and that he declined Spurs. So that's where it started, right? And Arsenal have always been interested. I think Arteta is interested. I think Berta has also identified him as someone that is going to be able to help us in the attacking third, to stretch the lines, to be more creative. Again, we're talking about our players that Arteta likes. Arteta likes players that can play in multiple positions. He can play left wing, he can play cam, he can play in attacking eights, right, if need be. So he plays multiple positions. Arsenal haven't made any bids. We were waiting for after the Community Shield. Some Arsenal representatives were at the game. Berta was not at the game, even though that was, being spread. It was not. It was not true. He was not at the game. But some Arsenal reps were at the game, and I'm sure even Spurs reps were at the game. What I would say on Eze is that, look, we can't really blame him. He's not going to shut down, another team, because if Arsenal don't come, then he misses out on the transfer, and he wants to move out of Crystal Palace. So, in my opinion, I think people are putting too much weight on that. As a player, it doesn't matter if Saka's your best friend or not. There's no friends in football, right? Like, that's something that you learn when you grow up, or when you understand the industry a bit more. Is at the end of the day, money talks, and if Arsenal don't put the money, and Spurs do, and that's his only choice, he will go and he will take it, right? And he wants to play Champions League. He's getting at an age now, right? I think, what is he, 27, 28? He's getting on the older side, so he doesn't have much time left. So he wants to play Champions League. He wants to taste that. So if Spurs can give him that, because they won the Europa League, they're going to be in the Champions League, then how can you blame the guy, right? Now, in Arsenal's perspective, we are waiting to see if we can get some sales, right? Leandro Trossard, Kiwior, Zinchenko, Reece Nelson, Fabio Vieira. We need to get rid of some of these wages. They're way too high, right? I don't think that we need to sell to buy. It's not that we don't have the money. It's the fact that we need to reduce our wage bill to bring him in. I think from what we read and what we understand, still we are the priority. But if we don't make a move, that's on us. And now when we talk about who we should blame, really it only comes down to one person, right? Who signed Noni Madueke for that amount of money? Who pushed for that signing?
Exactly.
You know who that is.
50 million. I mean,
bro.
This thing should be questioned, isn't it? It's not something that should just be, okay, Noni Madueke comes. But you know what? Yeah, when Noni Madueke came through the window, I was pissed off with the sign. But I didn't really know what I was really pissed off more about. Is it because we went to Chelsea to buy Noni Madueke? Or is it just simply because I don't like the player?
Is it
the fact there is that when I checked it, I wasn't really mad at the player.
Yeah,
I still like Noni Madueke. Is he the one I want at the football club? No, but it doesn't have anything to do about his quality, but it has a lot to do with we went down to Chelsea and got another player again.
So I want to touch on 3 points, bro. The first one is people will or could be upset at the fact that we got another player from Chelsea. That's number one. Number two, people will be upset at the fact that we got Madueke, so they're upset at the player that we got. Number three, people are upset at the price we spent to get him. And number four is if we spent this money and did all this number 1, 2, and 3 to sign him instead of other opportunities that we know can be better, then you're finished, man. You're finished. There's nothing that of course people are going to be upset. Of course people are going to be frustrated. It's a huge risk that we're taking again. In my perspective, by the way, I give every player that comes into a club a fresh start. So I'm not upset at him. He didn't choose to be 52 million, and you can't be upset at the player. I want him to do well. I think he can bring some good things. What I'm upset about is the fact that we spent 50 million on him when we could have gotten Kudus, who's in my opinion, is way better than him.
He's way better,
you know what I mean? And the fact that we could sign other players like Eze for 60 million instead of him, right? That's the frustration. I'm not frustrated at Madueke as at the player. I'm frustrated at the situation that we've caused for ourselves, spending a lot of money again on a player that is not guaranteed to give us what we are looking for, right? Someone like Leao, someone like Lookman, even probably people would have been a bit better on that, or easier to digest that one, right? You're more likely to give that a chance. It's 40 million. And so there's all these different factors that are playing that people are really frustrated about. Let's also put our hands up and say, look, the window's not over yet, right? We don't know everything. They might still have something up their sleeve. And if they do, then people will have to kind of swallow back what they've said and the frustration. And you can't say anything, right? If we sign Eze, then okay, no one says anything. But if we don't, then we have questions to ask. We have questions, and we have the right to answer, to get these answers, to say, hey, why did you spend 52 million on another player from Chelsea that is not even going to be in our starting 11, that we don't really know if he's a right winger or a left winger? Yes, he may be good, but now you're chancing your whole career again on another Chelsea player. He did this with Havertz, right? I think Havertz personally has been above average. He's over exceeded my expectations, and I think he's been a good signing. Is he worth 60 something? No, I still don't think he's worth that amount, but I think whatever. We can't really complain about the price as fans. The price is, it is what it is. We don't have any control over it. But in terms of output and when he's contributed to the club, I think Kai Havertz has been a good signing for Arsenal. Many people don't agree with me, by the way, and I always protect him. But again, just because I protect him doesn't mean that I didn't want an upgrade, and I don't think we do better. Again, you have to be very fair in your reflection. As a player, he has brought some great things to the club, right? In my opinion, he's done some good things to the club. We were 1 point away from winning the league, and if we win the league, then no one talks about Havertz the way we talk about Havertz, because he would have won us the league, and Arteta would have been vindicated in his decision. That is how close it is, right? From being an amazing signing, incredible legend, blah, 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 to, oh my God, like people having this discourse about we wasted money, what a donkey, what a this, what a, and that's how fickle fans are, right? People don't want to be balanced and remember that this guy brought us 1 point away from winning the league. So, that's what I would say. I'm a bit frustrated, but I would say I'm hoping that we do sign another attacking player. If we could pull a Rodrigo on loan with obligation. Now Man City are in. I don't think we'll be able to. It'll be very difficult.
You don't think?
Okay. The money that we can.
Okay. Right? If we don't get someone of the ilk of Eze, someone who could create directly through the middle, do you think Gyokeres suffers in his first season at Arsenal? Mind you, when we're talking about creativity down there in our midfield, how many creators do we have?
Just one, and he's struggling.
I mean, it's just Martin Odegaard, and he's literally
struggling, bro.
He struggled last season. In pre-season,
he's struggling.
He's still struggling. By the way, to be very fair, I do know that it's in the wheelhouse of Zubimendi, players like Zubimendi, to also help out in that creativity. Declan Rice could also help out in creativity. Bukayo Saka is an outlet, but he's also part of our creative spark in that team. But it's more on Martin Odegaard. If we don't get someone like Eze, do you think Gyokeres suffers this season?
I want to hedge my bets and say no. The reason why, because I hope and pray, and I'm pushing that energy out.
Pray.
And pray that Odegaard.
Hope and pray. Those are big words, my friend.
You know why I'll say that? Because
those are big words.
I think Zubimendi, as you can see, will unlock Odegaard, and that's my hope. My hope is that now Odegaard will not have to do as much work defensively. He will not have to come so deep to come get the ball and start play. It's just too much for him to do. He has too much responsibility, in my opinion. Now, if you have Zubimendi, it releases some of the shackles, and now you can see Odegaard. Okay, final third, you get the ball, turn and make something happen. Don't come all the way back past the halfway line. I don't want to see that. You need to be in the attacking half of the third, in the opposition's half of the field, get the ball, turn, and make something happen. And my hope and my prayers is that Odegaard has to have a really good season now. Otherwise, we will suffer. Forget Gyokeres. We will suffer as a team. It's not about Gyokeres. It's not about Saka. It's about Arsenal Football Club. We want to succeed as a team. We're a team, and every individual contributes to this team, to this whole engine that Arteta has built. And unfortunately, it feels like sometimes when you pull one player out of the engine, we were struggling when we were replacing with the backups, and the engine couldn't run as we want or as we'd hoped for. So, we have done a little bit better with, Zubimendi, Madueke hopefully will cover. I think Kepa is an underrated signing for 5 million. I think he's a great backup. He's a great in penalties as well. You already saw his first game. He saved 3 penalties in that penalty shootouts, and we will use that to our advantage in cup competitions, etc. When we need, I'm pretty sure we will bring him on to be the keeper for the penalty shootout. And for 5 million, I think that's a good signing. But I think Odegaard really has to be, that guy. And personally, bro, for me, I wanted Cherki. And I said it since the January window, man. No one was going for this guy. 30 million. He looks like a baller, man. This guy was just, we think Eze is a good dribbler. Cherki is a great dribbler. And we need some person that has that freedom to be able to do stuff and create and be this Neymar, Ronaldinho, Brazilian type. We need that. We're suffering because we don't have anyone who can do that. That's why we get excited, as I said, about Dauman and Nwaneri, is because they show some of that qualities, right? Not at the level, of course, because they're young. They show some of that quality, and that's also why we fell in love with Martinelli, because when he first came, he also was showing.
Yeah, he also tried in
Now he
know,
doesn't do that anymore. He just wants to take you on by the byline and cross, or he has the
yeah,
same moves. It's like it's become too stale and it's too predictable now, right? So someone like Cherki would have been someone I think we should have gone. Now he's gone. This guy, El Kunus from Leicester. No one has gone to this guy. Maybe someone
yeah.
that we're looking at.
Kunish is good. I mean, it was one of the shining lights of Leicester City. But see, yeah, I mean, right now, man, if we don't have someone who could cut through the middle, someone like Eze being an attacking midfielder, coming, cutting through the middle and get direct passes, to time those runs, perfect runs from Gyokeres and set him up on some one-on-ones. It's literally gonna be difficult for
How
Gyokeres
how will how
this
will he be set up on one-on-ones if he's going to be on the left wing? That's another question. And by the way, I don't know the answer to this question, but this is something I'm thinking about because if Odegaard's in the middle, let's say, but then Martinelli will be the one who's going in behind, right? But now we have two players who can
Mm,
go. The only
yeah.
issue is that has to be tactic. It needs to be intentional. It needs to be a plan that we have. Okay, this is what we're going to do. We're going
That's
to
where the
play.
manager comes in. That's
Exactly.
where the manager comes into
Exactly.
play.
And remember
That's
how
where
we
the
always
manager comes
had
in.
only plan A, give it to Kai Havertz, let him hold the ball and then play off of him. Or let's do crosses, set piece FC, only score from corners. We don't have another way to attack a team. So this
Mm.
hopefully now will be another way we can attack a team. Odegaard, play the ball in behind. Let Gyokeres run for it. Let Martinelli run for it. We don't do that.
How,
Martinelli doesn't do that.
African Guinea, how do we open up teams that would this season that would decide to come and keep a low block
You
at
need
the
a
Emirates
maverick.
or anywhere?
You need a
So what
maverick.
with the team we have right now?
No,
What do we do? Because Thomas
nothing.
Frank in the preseason asked Mikel Arteta that same question again, and he failed in that
We
preseason game.
we
But again, I want to take those preseason games with a pinch of salt. Yeah. Now we're in the new season right now, and a team has just scored a goal, and now they've reverted back to a low block.
yeah.
How do we get out of that situation
The only way I
with the
see
current team we have
with
now?
the current team that we have, we got to play the ball faster, man. We got to up the tempo. We are too slow, too slow. By the time we decide what we want to do, Saliba, Gabriel, David Rea, all touch the ball 3, 4, 5 times.
Mm.
Okay, the other team is already in their defensive block. They've already recovered. We play way too slow. It has to be over the top balls for me, in my opinion. Like, okay, if they're like, and quick, we get the ball quick. And you see David Rea is making those passes now to Saka. We're seeing it a little bit in preseason. We're trying to go for that ball to Saka. We need to play that ball now to Gyokeres on the left, to Martinelli, because Martinelli will start the season. I'll tell you that on Sunday, Martinelli will start. So we need to see those balls. Other than that, bro, for me, it needs to be somewhat. We don't have it in house, in my opinion. That needs to be the Rodrigo or the Eze, someone who's
The
going to be able to
Rodrigo or the Eze.
yeah, it has to be, man. Someone who can just dribble, take players out of position. Like you. When you're a player like that, right? You get players to come to you. They want to come get the ball from you, and when they
you draw
come,
them.
you
Draw
draw
them out.
them exactly, and that opens up space and it opens up like chaos. We don't have chaos in our team,
We
man.
don't have that. And again, that's what Max Dolman brings to the team.
He
But
does.
again, I'm still skeptical. Do you think Mikel Arteta will look at him and
No,
say, "Oh my God, this is a 15-year-old that haven't even written his GCAE, his GCSE."
yeah.
So I mean, to what extent would he be participating in this season? You know,
Reduce your
because right
reduce
now
your
is our
expectations.
only technically gifted player we have in the team who could dribble in that way.
Reduce your expectations. Like straight up, reduce your expectations. This kid is not going to play that much this season. Yes, he will get a taste. Remember, look how Nwaneri, even last season was his second season and he still didn't really get the minutes we were hoping for. Even when Odegaard was out, even when Trossard was out, even when Sterling was so bad, he
Oh
still
my
didn't get
day.
the time, man. So I would say Dauman probably will get maybe 1 or 2, 3 little Premier League, substitution appearances, right? Just to give him a little bit of taste. He will be in the match day squads probably, but he will always be on the bench and maybe not used. Very rarely, like if we're really, really desperate, probably we use him. I think he starts League Cup this season. He will start some games. FA Cup, he will start until it gets to the latter stages where it's knockout. I think that's what we're looking at. And he will be training with the first team, of course, as we know. He's been training with the first team for the past 8 months or so, which has been, I've never seen that happen in my life. I've never seen a 15-year-old be training with the first team like this.
I've never seen that. I've never seen that before. I've never seen that
So one
before.
thing I'd also like,
Okay, yeah, yeah,
sorry,
yeah.
one more thing I would like to say on Dauman. I've been watching him obviously for a while now. Every game he plays, forget this preseason, even last season, every game he plays, goal or assist, without a doubt, without a doubt. Every game he
Without a
plays, he
doubt.
has a goal or assist. He's a machine, right? But now, can you translate that into the Premier League? You can see in
Mm,
preseason he's doing well. He's battling. Look at Joe Linton, right? First, as soon as he comes on, 2 minutes, 2 seconds, 2 touches, he gets taken out, right? Because they can't manage him. And I'm playing recently here in Toronto. I play pickup games, and I'm playing with some kids. These kids, man, the way they can run, the engine, like, you cannot touch them, right? When we're older,
mm,
you cannot move as much as them. You don't have the nimbleness. They can just turn, twist, and the engine and the endurance. This is why this next generation you're seeing 15,
yeah,
16, Miles Lewis Kelly, and it's going to continue like this. You'll see 14-year-olds in a couple of years. You'll see 14-year-olds now training with the first team, not just
yeah.
Arsenal. I'm talking about in general, because that's the
In
way that the
general.
sport is evolving, right? It's
Mm,
just normal with science, with technology, with the facilities, with the mindset, with the ambition, right? Oh, 3-year-olds, you see like 5-year-olds with videos, and their parents are putting it on TikTok, and like trying to push them and market them.
push them, yeah, yeah,
Yeah, it's very different to what I grew up in, right?
yeah.
So I would say, look, reduce expectations a little bit on Dahlman. Yes, he will have some minutes, but he will not play any major part of our season. He will still be playing with some of the academy. He will be helping them, right, drive them. Hopefully, they'll win the league this season and the under 18s. And then whenever possible, he'll be in the Premier League matchday squads or the League Cup, FA Cup, and that's about it.
Okay, the African Union will soon be leaving, but I mean, you came down to the show, yeah, and this weekend we're starting the Premier League campaign. You definitely have to tune in into what's going to happen at Old Trafford. Come on, man. You have to give us what's going to. I
Yeah,
mean, what's your perspective on that game, man? I mean, talk to
my
us, please.
my perspective is 2-1, 2-1. I think as I said, Havertz will start the game. I think Saka will score, and I think Gyokeres will score the winner coming off the bench. And I do think
Mm,
Sesko will score as well. I think maybe Manu even
really?
might score. Yeah, I think Manu might even score the first goal, and we'll come back, and we'll win 2-1, and we'll take the win. It might not be a pretty game. It'll be tactics, as in like we're not gelling well still, chemistry, etc. I know we won 3-0 in our last game, but looking at our preseason, Max Damon is not going to be in this team, right, on Sunday. He's on
Yeah.
holiday. He might come back from holiday. I don't know yet if that's true or not, but I don't think he'll be in the match day squad. So I think there's not going to be many chances. It's not going to be a really open game. It's going to be very tactical. No one will want to lose the first game. We'll be playing away from home. It's funny because historically we were always good at home, and then with under Arteta we've been really good away from home. So I'm confident that we'll win, but I don't think it'll be a blowout. It's not going to be like a 3-0 or a 3-1 or something like that. I think 2-1 probably will edge it.
2-1, yeah, should be.
What about you? What are you feeling?
Hmm. No, I'm thinking 2-1, a modest 2-1, a modest 2-1. I think Gyokeres is gonna score. I
Yeah.
don't think Sesko is gonna even play. I'm thinking to come way too early for him
Okay.
because of course, yeah, I think to be way too early for him.
They
But
also have
again,
Mbeumo and Cunha, like very good players that we would have taken, by the way. I know a lot of
yeah, I mean I rate Mbuemo, I rate Cunha, but I mean I've seen them play both of them in preseason games and they've not really
it'll take some
gelled yet.
time.
They've not
Yeah.
even scored a goal. None of them have scored actually in
Yeah.
preseason games for Man United. So,
But you could
and then you
say
start asking your
um,
question: is the structure of Manchester United good enough for both of them to coexist? There?
what
I,
what
I
else
mean,
what I'll say on Man United is they'll be like Unai Emery. They'll want to score many goals, even if they leak many goals. They want to outscore. So 5-4, 6-5. That's the type of game they're
yeah,
going to be having. They're going to be going attack, 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 but their midfield weak, right? And the defense is weak. And then Onana, let's not even talk about that clown.
let's not even talk
We
about
we
that.
we
Their
really
defense is shabby.
we
They still
dodged
have
the bullet on
Casemiro
that
in the
one,
middle.
bro.
They're weak. They're literally very, very weak. Uh, The only thing I'm a little bit scared about is this Baleba news that they're talking about.
I don't think
I
so.
don't know if
I
Baleba
don't.
comes in for them, it
Nah.
completely changes that environment into something different.
Seeing them spend another 100 million when they're out of Europe, when they had to cut jobs, when they had to fix their leaking roofs. I mean, it just wouldn't make sense in my opinion. And unless they find a way to finance, because what I understand is like they've figured out a way already, right, to get the signings that they did. It was to finance it and take out loans, etc., to be able to spend this money. I don't see them spending another 100 million. I mean, it would be really crazy. And it's not out of the ordinary for Man U because they have the commercial power and they always spend a lot of money. But I really don't think it would happen, in my opinion. I don't see it happening. But Liverpool look like they probably will sign Gehi. I don't think Isak moves, irrespective of everything that's going on. I don't think he's going to go to Liverpool. I think he will stay at Newcastle, and it might go to the point where he gets like either he gets reintegrated and he just sucks it up, or it's just hot and cold, and then in December, then they'll have to sell him, and they'll lose a lot of money, but they'll take the chance.
They'll take the chances. See, Le African Gunner, thanks for showing up to the channel
Absolutely,
today,
man.
man. I mean, I'm so happy that you came around and at least you've had your first medicine about how this channel looks, and hopefully you make here your home. Usually you can just pop in if you like, because we're trying to bud the friendship with both channels. I mean, you deal more with print and digital, but I've not heard about you having a channel yet. So when you do,
Yeah,
stuff on your YouTube channel, or you trying to get onto it, please let me know.
absolutely. What I'll say on
I'll be
that is
there.
that I've been on many channels. I've done hundreds of podcasts. I always felt that I love Arsenal and I love talking about Arsenal. It's never about creating my own channel and always creating content and clickbait and this and that. I always just want to talk about Arsenal. That's all I want to do. That's what I love. And I found that, going on other people's channels was fulfilling for me. I have been advised to create my own channel, and that might be something that I do. But with what I do, it takes a lot of time. It takes a lot out of me. And to think about
Yeah.
running another channel full time on top of what I do, it's very challenging
Big
and
up,
something that I
Peter.
so if I do create a channel, hopefully soon, then 100% we'll have you on as a guest, and hopefully we can collab
Yeah.
more. But it was a very great pleasure for
Oh,
the invite. Thanks a lot. Really appreciated it, and hopefully we'll have another chat soon.
yeah, definitely within the season. I see people. Yeah, I'll get the African Gunner down here. Yeah, because I mean, just look at us just talking. I mean, good chemistry. No one wants to cheer. No one wants to take anyone's head off.
Yeah.
Everyone just wanna, just put an
So, well,
opinion
what
in.
I'll say, bro,
So
is that our club is one of the reasons I fell in love with our club is because of our values, and one of our values is we're a very classy club. So, as a fan, I feel like you have to represent your club, and in my life, I like to be professional and I like to be classy. I'm not one of those people like Lee Gunner or something like that, like that's or Northside. I'm like, look,
no, no. I
everyone has
actually
their own style.
Ligon is my guy. But
Yeah.
I don't. Yeah, he's my guy
No.
actually. But
Okay.
you know, yeah, no,
Just
no. But I hear you. No, but
yeah.
again,
Everyone
that's
communicates
your
differently.
opinion about him. Yeah, I have a
Everyone
different opinion about him because, um, I mean, again, you can't stop people that are suffering. When the suffering becomes, quite
there's a way
much.
to communicate the suffering. This is my perspective. Like if our class
I
is
hear
we're
you.
supposed to be classy, right? They shouldn't be like I referenced it because you said we didn't cut our heads off. I don't want to cut your head off. You don't want to cut my head off, and it should never
Yeah.
really be that. Like we should be
Mm,
classy. We should be respectful. We should understand that we have different opinions. We should both understand that we both love the club and want the
yeah.
best for the club, and we should communicate that and represent the club in a great, in a positive way. That's what I try to do with everything and all my content, right? I want to represent not only the club but just me in general in my life, and what my parents have taught me is to be a good person, to respect other people, to be mindful and thoughtful of the way you communicate your feelings and everything, right? And I
Yeah.
try to embody that in both my professional, my football life, and all parts of my life, even my relationships, etc., right? So I think no, it's a great pleasure, and I always really enjoy speaking to people who are respectful, people who can be balanced, and people who can appreciate that, right? So big up to you, man.
Yeah. Yeah, and see, even the assembly have said I'm patronizing. But again, see, the thing there is that I'm this kind of person. Yeah, I like opinions. I value opinions, and my channel is a democracy. Anyone can actually bring whatever they think, bring it up, and let's discuss. So For me, it's just simple. Not, I'm not really going to, argue about what people think about this person. Or just come give your ideas. Let's share ideas and let's do it in a more, in a more mature way.
Absolutely.
I do understand you when you say in a more classy way. I do completely get that. See, people, I would be with my guy immediately after this show. Yeah, it's a big one. I would actually give you guys footnotes to that one on an Instagram post. So guys, just wait for that. Yeah. The African Gune, from me and from the African Gune, we are out, people. Thanks, people.